Okay, thank you all. Today is Sunday 15th, and we're coming together with some beautiful people around the world to discuss reality. What is reality, and how do we inform it? We could look at reality both ways. We could look at it as nothing is real because it's particles of light, and it's just available to us in the density. And hello, Kitty. And then the moment that we see that reality, we have the potential to change it. So yeah, is reality real? Is reality the illusion? But by that same thought, if we are creating a reality from an illusionary mindset, then we're not living in the reality that we think we are living, because we're informing life around us of what isn't true. So it's a bit of a paradox, and maybe we'll have the language to explain it as the years go by, but I wanted to call this video Informing Reality because I keep talking about it, so I just wanted to discuss a bit further. So today we have difficult alignments in the sky. Astrologically, we have two very powerful squares, Uranus and Mars. This makes it very electric, very explosive in terms of the Great Awakener, and Mars, the activist, the one that pushes forward. And then also we have a square to Saturn. Yeah, it's a square to Saturn. Let me just check. Yeah, a square to Saturn to Jupiter. So it is a bit of a contradiction again when it comes to Saturn and Jupiter, because if you remember during the COVID years or period of time, it was the Jupiter and Saturn conjunction that we were getting close to on that December 2022, and the kind of pulling of wanting the freedom and the expansion, and then the constriction of being, on that reality. So now we have come to the square of that same energy, which is like, it's basically saying enough is enough, constriction and abiding to rules that aren't real. Here's reality again. Having this time to really checking into what are the parameters that we have been living by, or how is this electric fence around our life, our reality feeling now. And when I say an electric fence, I'm thinking like one of those thin lines, like you do if you have horses. But nevertheless, if you are a horse, you tend to not cross that line. So it's like, it's so delicate and so thin. And it's, the horse is this huge animal, powerful animal, but it will not think of, for the sake of getting an electric shock, it won't think of, pushing the boundary. So here it is, Uranus, the electrical guy in the sky, literally is saying, well, I'll be okay with this parameters that we are living under, and is it time to just jump it or switch off, whether it is on a personal level, in a landscape, or whether it is or both, the outside reality or the inner reality. So if you are sensing it, just be gentle, because it will pass, as with everything. It's energy, and it's powerful energy. So if you can use it for creation, if something is coming up in your awareness, whether it is, this kind of frustration of wanting to break free of something, or some situation, then use that feeling, because the feeling is energy, and it doesn't need to be good or bad. And we'll talk about this in a minute, but you can use that by focusing it in the direction that you want to create from. So nothing is good or bad really if we are aware of it being energy. So yeah, but in other words, be gentle with yourself. So informing reality, the one way that I know that it has been powerful in my life is, first of all, to perceive what is. And I know we will talk about, oh yes, being present and all there is the present moment, and we can only create from the present moment. All of those things are kind of bumper stickers, in the field. We kind of know that, but to focus on how it feels in the moment. So if we take a moment, literally right now, and whoever is listening to this at some later time, take a moment to sense what is your inner landscape, what is the energy, what is the frequency that is vibrating, from that perception of reality. Remember, we're looking at informing reality, but before we inform reality, we need to know what we're perceiving, because we are creating from perception. We are creating from sentient intelligence. We are perceiving what is. So we're perceiving the outside world, maybe something you read in the news, somebody told you something, somebody might have upset you, somebody may have empowered you. And then is that sense of, how do I feel? How did I wake up this morning? What has my week been? How do I move through some stuff that it's, powerful in my life right now? And maybe it's an initiation time, a cycle of great transformation for you. So all of that, I know I said a lot of words, but now let's just go back to frequency and energy. Yeah, take a breath and sense that sense, because words don't quite make sense. It is your reality, and you being able to attune to your own being and focusing on what is within, without. It doesn't matter which way it's coming. In the end, it's all you having the experience. And how do you perceive it? So two ways that I feel it's true to say we are perceiving reality, but we're also perceiving information, because it's particles of light and also sparks within our neurons, our inner landscape, also our biology, our neurology is constantly informing what the next feeling is going to be. So perceiving through our biology, so perceiving through what I call the sentient intelligence, through the feelings, through the sensing. And that can be what is happening within you and also what is informing you from the outside in, both ways. And we're not immune to either. Everything is in the moment, constant. Although I'm trying to break it up, it's a bit like breaking light into color, but really there is only one bright light. So this millisecond, parsecond, I don't even know how you would say that. It's happening in an instant. But if you can unfold it and unravel it, and now you are deep in the experience, now you are deep in that, if you like, you are becoming the architect of this construction. You're not only inhabiting some construction that is, for some reason part of your reality. And this could be social, this could be cultural, this could be political, this could be religious. But certainly it's how you are perceiving it that it's going to make sense to you ultimately, because that's how you go into informing the next experience, hence your future reality. So this is one aspect of neurology, if you are looking deeper into the science of your nervous system, if you're looking deeper into, I guess, also the metaphysics of your nervous system, you will know that there are all of the centers that, in ancient India was called chakras. There's also the nadis, the Chinese medicine calls it the meridians. So we are this receiver, this transducer of constant information, constant energy, translation of what is being perceived, and then synthesizing that again per second of a second, of a millisecond, wherever that word is that describes a very fast moment in time. And then you are having emotion, emotion. We could call it emotion because eventually it becomes an emotion. But whatever it is, in whichever level you catch it, feel it, feel it. And then if you can, distribute it, kind of like energy, kind of like, I don't know, like a vitamin, that you imagine you're taking the supplement and you're imagining this supplement is going to go wherever it needs to go in your physical body, and it's going to do the best it can with all of your systems, your physiology, and make you feel good and happy, and whatever it says it will do for you. Likewise, this is the part that we can inform the field. So again, I am unraveling this thing that happens very, very fast. And the only way to catch it is by being really, really aware, and by just a little bit of training. And if you are very, very aware of how it feels, it becomes a bit like a game. It becomes a bit like, oh, this is another experience. Let me see how that feels, and let me see how I'm about to inform myself. And so I won't give you necessarily an example, but you can go in a way that is regressive or in a way that is progressive. Either way, it will be fine, because either way, you will figure it out eventually. Because through this sentence intelligence, which I'm telling you, that is about, unraveling the tiny moment in time that you are perceiving, is the same energy that you're going to use to inform the new experience. So that's when you, if you like, you're in the magic of, oh my goodness, here I am. I caught myself thinking in a node way from a node template, and it will help you. It won't be like, oh my goodness, I'm so silly, I'm so stupid, why did I do this? It will be positive, it will be like, I want to say, life enhancing, because you're allowing it to inform you. And again, in energy, there is no good and bad, even if the outcome of the choice will be a good choice or a bad choice in terms of progression or regression in evolution. Energy itself doesn't have a polarity. So that's another mind-blowing thing. And then the second thing is the energy of past experiences. So what I call the templates. So we come to Earth somehow by choice. Although I have had souls in my soul journeys that very much talks about not necessarily wanting to arrive. And so I don't know how that works, but either way, whichever way you feel about your landing on planet Earth, think of it as you are here now and you're going to do the best of it, because on some level that was exactly what needed to happen. So once you're here, you have this excuse me, this potential of your, what I call your frequency sequence, which is an equation of your energy. It is a totality of your frequency in all of the myriads of your being, all of your multidimensional wisdom, informed in one capsule, if you like, in one beautiful pattern, which is a blueprint of your life, a blueprint of your soul, rather. So that is your frequency that you always want to go back into. This is how you know you're feeling good, because you're back with yourself, and it's like, okay, from that point you have power to move forward to create new realities. But before you do that, and this is the part of the geometry of dreaming, is that if you allow yourself to be with that emotion or with that polarity of frequencies, you can go back to uh, figuring out what are the old templates that may have put in place, and that for you becomes also an intelligence, because it's yeah, what other word would that be? Like a pattern by which reality keeps replaying itself until you take that off, whether it is something that has occurred to you through trauma, through pain, through emotional distress, or whether it is something that has been imprinted on you, like especially through uh, social imprinting. Or I lived in Egypt, and I could see how the social imprinting in children happened very, very fast, and by peer pressure. And so it doesn't always have to be through trauma or some kind of distress. It's something that is imposed upon you. Think of it as um, a tight framework that doesn't allow your original template to spiral out with the cosmos at the speed that you want it to evolve. So when you feel something that feels like you're out of sync with your being, with your own frequency, then often you can go and inform yourself, or your awareness becomes informed of these patterns that somehow constricts you. And it does feel, I promise you, it does feel not good. It does feel heavy and dense. And if you become a bit practiced at this, you start feeling that it's here as well. It's not just in your gut or in your bones, or in that inner sense of yourself. It's also kind of over here, a bit like, yeah, a bit like if you have bad weather and you're trying to drive, and all of a sudden there's all of this, I don't know, heavy rain, or anything that stops you from seeing clear. And then that moment of, literally, if you are driving through fog, and all of a sudden you can see, you're going to slow down, and you're going to try and, do you divert? Do you take an exit if you're on a highway, on a motorway? Do you just go slowly forward? So that's the moment of choice, and that's the moment of um, perceiving reality. So again, I'm telling you a lot of words for something, for technology, for an event that happens in our physiology and in our frequency instantly, like before you could even think, it's already occurred. But if you can catch it with your sentience, I truly believe we have new abilities now that maybe we didn't have 5 years ago, to sense and perceive so fast and somehow transmute and translate what's happening. And again, it doesn't have to be, through the cognition of, oh yes, this is happening. I mean, I like to do that. I like to journal and try and make sense of it, because I guess in a way I'm teaching it. So I am also the experiment. I put myself through the experiment so that I can make sense of it and share it out. But not to say that it would take 20 minutes for you to figure it out. For me, at the moment, it's probably taking about that long to catch the reality that I'm about to create. So now let's talk about the part that you're now expressing it out, what you have received, because that's your power. This is the point of power, and it's the point of no return. That when you realize it's you with yourself, first of all, the outside world will change because you are changed. but it may not happen in an instance. People around you are still wanting you to be you the way you are, and they will almost trigger you in ways because, they know your patterns, even if it's unconscious. So it will take a little bit of time for the people in your reality to realize that those patterns are no longer existing, but you as yourself is instant. So trust me on that. You as yourself is instant. And before you know it, you look back and you think, oh my goodness, I have changed. I don't think like that. Or, wow, look where I am now. Look what I'm doing now. But it won't be like, tomorrow everything's changed in your life. However, the yeah, the repatterning or the reshaping the structures of your multiverse, because you are living in a multiverse, but you also yourself, the universe within. So as we said, we spoke about self-awareness, whether it is inward and outwards, whether it is your biology or whether it is information that's coming from the outside, how you are synthesizing this energy and how you're going to call it energy. We are not going to call it, oh, this is awful, oh, this is great. We're going to literally package the energy once we understood what it is and use that. This is, transmutation or alchemizing or whatever the word is. So with that, we also arrive at this deep knowing of ourselves and I want to say a deep self-compassion or a deep self-love, because now you're also realizing that what you've chosen before was so much to do with the patterns that were informing your life. And a little bit like, the template is like in a photocopier, it just keeps recopying itself. Even if it was there because something occurred to you when you were 9 years old. We are these beautiful sentient beings that have this ability to also record information. Remember, we are water. Everybody now is talking about the memory in water. We are water, so we are constant memorizing, archiving. We are this library of experience, and all of experiences contain frequency, and every frequency is energy. So this is why it's important to go backwards before we go forward into informing reality. This is not about manifesting something fast. This is about never having to do something twice or three times, which I think a lot of us had to do that in the past, because also the frequencies, planetary frequencies, remember that there is a template in the sky, the same way as we are a perfect harmonic. There is a harmonic assisting us. There is a harmonic assisting us through nature, through the trees, through the whales, through the lion beings, through the dragons. All of it informing reality fast, 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 fast. And we are swimming in this ocean of consciousness. So I hope this makes sense. Another thing that's really important to know is also this deeper understanding that you're part of everything. It isn't anymore just a phrase that you hear or something that sounds good at the end of a story. It really becomes so real that yeah, I don't have a good analogy for that. But it is truly knowing that you are not, or rather, yeah, you are not temporal, and that this experience is temporal, but you are not temporal. And so you might as well make the most of the experience and go through it with curiosity, even if it's harsh, even if it's, I want to say, even if it's disastrous and you feel awful about it. Trust that it's energy and that you can literally repackage it, repurpose it. Maybe there is a better word for it, alchemize it. And again, it doesn't sound real, none of what I'm saying will sound real unless you experience it. So the best I can offer is start focusing on every experience that jars you, because driving to the supermarket and back, you might have an experience, but it's so motorized that you might not feel it. So often we kind of stop and pause when something just comes out of the blue, as it were, that jars us into, whoa, what was that about? But if we can slowly train ourselves to just perceive it, it's also very fast. So being part of everything, your own place in the cosmos, you become more aware that not only this is occurring with you in your life, is occurring because you're part of this play out, which is not only you. Now it's not only planet Earth, it's all of sentient beings in other timelines. It's evolution on planet Earth is important because it's connected to all of the other planetary systems. So when you start seeing that again, I can tell you all I with these words, I could maybe put beautiful images, but it won't make sense unless you experience it. So call the experiences to yourself, practice playfully with the experiences that come into your life. We're having experiences all day long. Choose one. Allow yourself to be informed of your own templates. If something doesn't feel good and you react in a way, ask yourself, is this I do this to myself? You can do it in a different way. I ask myself pretty much along the lines of, is this a template that I'm unaware? And then immediately I get some kind of information. And then it blows my mind. I go, oh my goodness, I'm still doing this. And so I hope that, with maybe in a couple of days, maybe in a couple of months, maybe in a couple of years, we are not longer informing ourselves of old templates. We are creating new ones. This is evolution. So, and then adaptability, being adaptable. So we can have the experience, and believe you me, I have had experiences that have given me opportunity to create new realities, and I stayed stuck because for whatever reason, a lot of it is fear. A lot of it is disbelief in your own power, in your own ability to turn this whole thing around and be fully embodied in the experience. Because yeah, sometimes it will bring you back to your childhood, and that sense of whatever, this distraught helplessness catches us in the moment, and we tend to not jump. It is a bit like a portal. You are jumping. I don't know if the word is jumping into a new timeline, but you are certainly creating that potential to jump into a different timeline. And although for me it's not instant, my awareness is instant, and I can use that awareness a lot faster than I could. So as an example, it might take months to find the perfect home, but I will have the awareness of what my true deepest desire and how I want to have my environment around me be and support me as. But then reality, the density and all everybody else's reality has to adjust. But if that is occurring in your life right now, if this is your experience, then keep focusing on your dreaming. This is part of the geometry of dreaming. Keep dreaming. The moment that you understood your entry into the dream, keep holding on to that beautiful dream, to that beautiful focus, and step by step getting there. So adaptability, it will cause you, if you are malleable, if you allow new concepts to arrive, because they will. Oh, I can tell you this story. I had moved to California and I was looking at a sunset in the beautiful Pacific Ocean. And this was a new reality for me. I had just moved across from Europe, and I remember seeing this thing which is called a sundog, which is some kind of light refraction that kind of creates two suns. Sometimes it's a different shape. I was seeing two suns in the horizon. And I just ignored it. I just told myself, oh, whatever, your eyes are weird. And later on, everybody was like, oh, this is another thing that happens on the beach in California. Everybody's clapping at the sunset, and everybody's like, yeah, whoa, a sundog. And I remember asking my husband at the time, what is this? What's a sundog? And he went, oh, didn't you see the two suns? A reflection of the sun created another sun. And if I hadn't seen the reaction of others, you could call this constructive interference. I would not have believed it. And so now I know that was real. And so I can adapt my reality. So this is a very simple explanation on adaptability if you allow yourself. So there is this moment of choice in adaptability. Yes, being available. Being available to what you think you saw or what you think you experienced, or the angle that you're looking at something may not quite be the totality of it. And so allow yourself to think differently, because that's another way of certainly informing reality. Reality changes when our mind changes, and reality changes when we go into a state of adaptability, when things are no longer set to the pattern that was for me. Like, for example, the way I thought of reality, or the way I thought the world was going to be in 2012, when everybody was focusing on that solstice time, is very different to how I see the future now. So, also honor yourself for the far journey that you took to get to where you are, to be fully sentient, and to perceive reality. And please, this is a super loving journey. This is nothing like looking at your shadows and working with archetypes. Even this is nothing but loving yourself more, because you are coming to understanding that you are a universe into creation, creating more life. Yeah, so thank you. This is basically my way of explaining informing reality. If you can take, and yeah, I've been teaching this for years, 3 minutes with yourself. It doesn't need to be a 20-minute, a half an hour meditation. I truly believe that the frequencies are very fast, and it's easier to have a really deep focus for a very short time than to have a very, oh, I'm uncomfortable, but I should sit here for 20 minutes to see if something comes in. We have practiced this long enough to know that information comes in very fast, and will probably takes you a minute to receive information, and probably 20 minutes to unravel what that information means for you. So short span of deep focus, and every day, it's how you build kind of like a comfort zone with yourself, a comfort zone with your dreaming, and a comfort zone with your ability to create reality. And journal, jot a little, this happened today, this is how I felt, this is how I feel I changed something. And then maybe you have an awareness 3 days later, and you go, whoa, yes. And then go back of it and say, whoa, this happens 3 days later. And the more you do it, the more you're aware, and the more it's real for you. All that I'm saying, it's just words. It has to be real. It has to be your own experience. This is why we're here, guys. We're here for the experience. So thank you. So I'm going to open it to questions or anything that you want to share about your own experience of informing reality. So please go ahead if anybody has anything. Nobody?
So, champions, who's ready to hunt for it? Me. Okay, come on over, Johnny. I think the bracelet is in this one, or I'm gonna pour it out. Hey, there's a slip of paper in here. Well, open it up. What does it say? It says we won $5,260. Great. So here's your $5,260. What are you gonna do with it? I'm buying a bracelet for my brother.
So information, if nobody has anything to share, I'll continue. Information, if you look at the word itself, information is all around us. This is particles of light, little capsules of stories, capsules of innovation, capsules of ability to tune into new realities, capsules of conversations with other star systems that are able to be perceived by you because you are now a frequency match. This is why informing reality is never separate from your own frequency and from your own ability to know your frequency. Because if you're able to, it's almost the broadcasting of your frequency. It's not so easy to broadcast your frequency when you don't feel good, when you feel lesser than, when you don't feel powerful, when things are not going well. And maybe if you are having a really good time and you are at a party and you're drinking and, it's all about enjoying the density, it might also not be a moment where you are. I'll rephrase that. You are broadcasting all the time, but it's the sentience of receiving as you broadcast. Remember, all of it is happening very, very fast. I don't know if this is called quantum, but it's very, very fast. Your broadcast is constant. Your frequency exists all the time, whether you are conscious or not. So when I was talking about being maybe a little bit washed down because, we're having a really good time, and yes, we're in a joy and we're having, conversations with people on the left and people on the right, it's going to be more difficult to perceive all of these capsules that are coming, from galactic influences, from interstellar communication, from a part of you that is living in another timeline, in your future self. However, if you're sensitive like me, it can be a little bit disruptive because all of a sudden you are fully aware of so much information and what to do with it. So then come back to focus, come back to center, come back to, if you need time out from the people on the left, the people on the right, if you need time out from, having to make a decision. Sometimes making decisions is very stressful. So why not making a decision from a informed reality? And what I mean by informed reality is the reality that is your frequency. From that blueprint of you can create form. I don't know if my hands are making sense, but it's like now you're broadcasting what is your truth in reality. If not, it will just continue to play out unconscious. And we lived this far and nothing went awfully wrong. We're still alive, we're still having fun. So it's not something drastic will occur if you're not conscious. But why not be fully conscious and then be part of the creation of your next day, of your next months, of your next year. And more than that, why not be part of an evolutionary cycle on planet Earth that you could be creating or innovating or bringing something to this reality that will last, for generations to come, that will inform other humans on planet Earth, but other systems in a faraway galaxy. Because advanced civilizations do that. As you know, we are keen on looking at ancient Egypt. I lived in ancient Egypt for 5 years. I studied there. Yeah, wherever your curiosity takes you in terms of ancient wisdom, the ancient people of Ireland, the Maoris, any ancient civilization that brought and left capsules of information for future generations, for a time like this, for us to use it. So don't discount that the more we are able to inform reality, we're also living ourselves parts of this capsules, which are information libraries in the field. And you could, write a book or create something, a new innovative idea that, heals the physical body or changes architecture or the way people grow food and so on and so forth. So it's super timely to become aware and to know that we truly are informing in form. So the form that it takes, the particles of light form by coming together, and we can inform it. So with our frequency, we create reality. This is the ultimate informing reality. Anybody wants to share anything?
The only comment I'd make, Anouk, is you have to be careful what you want to dream in, because it has to be focused. I can only speak from my own experience to say, oh, I'd like to be offered more work or more exposure. This is in the textile art, and now I'm getting bombarded with requests. So I've had to retune that, but there's
Totally.
learning in that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So
Yeah.
true. So true. And that is awareness. Thank you for bringing it up, because now you're aware that you truly are
Yes.
informing reality. So
Yeah.
yeah, fine-tuning. I remember living in Alexandria, Egypt, and having this desire for a partner and thinking, well, now I live in a bigger city. There are more foreigners here, or more learned people than there were in the village where I lived in Luxor. And really having this desire to meet a man and, to somehow magnetize, a nice, gentle man in my life. And I was renting this huge villa, and the owner of the house was selling. I knew it was going to be for sale. And literally the next day, I have 3 men walk into my bedroom. I'm in my bedroom. Luckily, I was writing. And 3 men walk through my bedroom door. And you can imagine my reaction. And later on that day, I was still so shocked that the agent had just walked in and literally just walked into my room, and nobody had told me. But then I was also aware that I had kind of wanted to magnetize a man in my life. And so all of a sudden there were 3 men coming through my bedroom. Yeah, so absolutely. Absolutely. We are truly powerful, and this is the future. I truly see us being so aware and so informed of what's occurring at every moment. It's going to be a lot more fun to live this experience than maybe has been when, we thought we were to blame in some way, or things were done to us, or yeah, totally. Yeah, thank you. I love that. Yeah. So what do you do now? How do you handle that?
Um, I suppose in the experience so far, I mean, I've met fabulous new people, like a more like a soul tribe that, that resonate at that same level. I spoke yesterday at a new group I had never heard of in my own hometown, which was fabulous, and got a very good reception. So, from that point of view, that was lovely. But I'm kind of smiling at the same time. I said, look at how I did that. I could do so. So I'm getting more clever in what I want to order. It's like ordering from the cosmos. Well, let's see, will I have whatever it is I want. Uh,
Now
but
you
it,
know.
but it's
Yeah.
um, it's a fun experience. But it is about catching it in the moment. Um, and what do you want? Almost visualize exactly the fine detail of what that dream looks like for you. So I'm probably fine
Yeah.
tuning that.
Yeah, that's a difficult one because, sometimes we don't want to put a boundary on it and make it too small,
Yes,
because maybe you can make it so much bigger and better, right? So
yeah,
there's definitely a fine tuning. I think if we catch it in the moment, we can pivot,
yes,
adjust, course correct.
yeah,
I think we're gonna be very good at that. I think it's a bit like learning to ride a bike, or at the beginning is all wobbly, and you need those
yeah.
things to hold you,
Stabilizers.
and then all of a sudden you're doing all sorts of things and you're going hands free, and so yeah, I think a little bit is that, but um
And
y-
I did, I
yeah.
know what you mean about that. Don't confine it because I've done that. Oh my gosh, if I think that, oh, I won't be able to control the result. So I've got over that aspect of it. Um, uh, that it does draw in things that are bigger and better.
Yeah, because this is not a selfish thing. This is the universe in motion. The astronomers tell us enough. There has been too many notions of it, that the universe is expanding, and so constriction doesn't really occur unless it's a supernova star that is an aging star that is about to become pure light. Um, okay, I don't know enough about astronomy, but as far as I know, this is the only time, because it then transmutes the light into something else. But on the whole, the universe is geometry. The universe is patterns and spirals and equations, and yeah, very much like astrology. So, and it's okay. It's okay if, I mean, in my case, it wasn't great to have those three men walk through the door, but it's okay. You just adjust, and you keep, I mean, we're still learning, we're still experiencing. Um, as I said, nothing is going to happen in an instant, but I feel, I feel such, would be a word to describe this, lightness, I think. Yeah, when I say this, I feel my diaphragm on the top of my stomach, just like, is that I don't need to worry so much or plan so much. I'm a planner, I'm a Virgo. Um, we can live lighter.
Mhm.
I know things are not so easy in many realities, and many people around the world are having difficult experiences. So, being grateful is also a great thing. Being grateful of where you live, and the culture that you're born into, and on some level the freedom that um it it bides you, it allows you. So here we are on planet Earth all together, having this experience, and do reach out if you have anything to share at some point later and you want to share it privately. If people are listening and they want to reach out later, you can get my email on my website. I just want to plug Geometry of Dreaming as a one-on-one mentorship to inspire you to dream your biggest dream, harnessing the power of your being. There is a new Sentient Intelligence, a 6 weeks program starting on the 24th of June. This is 6 weeks only. This is about perceiving information from the field and synthesizing this. And then I have this new amazing program that is being gifted to us all. And I am super excited to be sharing it. And this is interstellar communication. This is our ability to become fully sentient to the point of now making sense of frequency and translate language from interstellar regions and interstellar beings and star systems outside planet Earth that are assisting us in our evolution and assisting us in innovation, problem solving, and becoming more of an advanced civilization. So this interstellar communication is very much set to the geometry of planet Earth and sentient intelligence on planet Earth, but with an expansion to other realities and to other worlds of information, worlds of intelligence, and worlds of other beings existing in other parallel and other star systems realities. So very, very exciting to be sharing this. I didn't think this was going to be the year, but of course we've got Uranus, the great transformer, the great awakener, the lightning strike, the Thor, god of thunder, transforming fast lightning, higher mind, evolution in consciousness is moving on the 7th of July, moving into Aquarius. This is the region of the sky that is about communication. And yes, it's going to be all about interstellar communication and advancements in communication and intelligent communication, organic communication. So we will start soon. I was going to do it on Saturday, but I know some of you can't do Saturday, so I'm considering moving it to the Friday. So I will follow my posts. It's certainly happening the first week as Uranus moves for the first time into Aquarius. It will stay there until the 7th of November and then have a little regressed motion into Taurus, just to finalize things, structure things, and ground things. This information technology is occurring. Advancements in interstellar communication are happening, and then we go full force, and this is a cycle that happens all the way to 2032. So this is why it's such a good time to become aware, to know that you can inform reality. So thank you so much for being part of this call. And yes, many blessings to you all, and see you next time somewhere. Much love. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Anouk.
Bye-bye. Thank you.